there were two countries that were fighting over a particular city or whatever it was for many, many years. And it just caused many, many, many casualties, in the war, that both countries were losing soldiers and men and etc. And it got to a point where they realized that this was just going to continue. It's just killing their economy, killing their country in so many ways, losing so many lives that it just doesn't make sense. But they didn't want to divide it. So they sat down, they came up with an idea. Each country will provide their strongest warrior without any weapons, and they'll have a tussle. And whichever guy could take the other guy and kill him and throw him into a pit, his country wins. So you have country A going against country B, and they pick a date. You can imagine the enormous amount of spectators and bystanders and fans that came to watch this from each country. The two kings were there. Very civilized event, but this one tussle between these two guys obviously was going to be very, very fierce. And the pit was, let's say, a couple hundred yards away from where the starting point was. So you have to actually kill the guy and bring him over. So they start the match. Team A, right away, the guy from Team A, he picks up the guy from Team B, and he seems to be beating him, and he's just schlepping him over his shoulders across the entire, area, a couple hundred yards. And everyone's like shocked. They didn't expect this, that the guy in Team A would be so much stronger. He just basically grabbed the guy in Team B, held him tight, and was just schlepping him like this. They thought it was like, they couldn't believe it. And as they get nearing the pit, the guy from Team B suddenly lets loose. He punches the guy from Team A, turns him upside down, grabs him, pushes him, steps on him, chokes him, kills him, and dumps him into the pit. Like almost like instantly, like within a couple moments, the whole thing was over, and Team B won. And everyone was shocked. They couldn't believe it. So, of course, Team B was celebrating. They were so excited what was going on. And after a few moments of celebration, the king of Team B, of course, the guy gave a great reward to the warrior. But he said, why did you get us all so nervous? Like, why did you wait till the very last moment to go ahead and do all this stuff and kill the guy at the end? Why don't you right away kill him and schlep him over? So he turns to the king. He says, I don't want to have to schlep that guy a few hundred yards. I said, let him schlep me, and when I get over there, I'll take care of him. That's what he said. So the rabbis tell us that the loot that they got from the water that they got after the Egyptians died from Kriyas Yamsuf means after the Egyptians died in Kriyas Yamsuf, the water sort of spit up all the Egyptians and all their valuables, and the Jews took all that money, was much, much greater than the loot that the Jews collected from the Egyptians as they left. So it was an obvious question. Why didn't the Jews get all the money when they left Egypt? Why did they have to get, 2 times money? And why was the valuables and the money so much greater by the water than when they left Egypt? So according to this story, right, this parable, it's very understandable. God didn't want the Jews to have to go ahead and schlep a lot more of the loot. That's a big pain. So let the Egyptians bring it. Right? Again, ridiculous thought going through the Egyptians' mind, schlepping all your valuables to the sea to fight a war. It doesn't make any sense. But God wanted them to go ahead and schlep all that stuff in order so that they should schlep it for the Jews, make it easier for them. So it was just to help the Jews out. That's why they had the benefit of having the Egyptians schlep all the money for them. Now you might ask a question, so why did they have to take anything out of Egypt? Just let the Egyptians schlep everything. So in the original decree and promise to Abraham that his children are going to go through a slavery in Egypt, and they'll have to be oppressed, and they'll have to be like, people that are foreigners, and they'll have to go through all the slavery and everything. It says they'll leave with a large amount of money. So in order to keep that promise, the people should know that God was truthful as they left Egypt. God gave them money right away, a lot of money. So no one should say, oh, God wasn't honest and he didn't keep his word for 7 days until they had the Kriyas Yamsuf, the splitting of the sea. But Hashem saved the best for last, so the Jews shouldn't have to schlep it. And that's an amazing, amazing lesson that we learn from Kriyas Yamsuf, that a lot of times things might not look so good for us, and looks like not so good. And really what God's doing is he's saying, hold on a few minutes, I'm going to make your life a little easier before I give you the big buck. I'll make it come to you without working so hard. And that's a tremendous lesson, to not jump to conclusions. God has a bigger plan, a better plan that ultimately works best for you. And over here, it worked tremendously for the Jews, not having to go ahead and schlep all this money.